Hi lovely people, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm here in the book shack. I'm going to do another tag. Now this one isn't a seasonal tag, but having been tagged by Aaron at Aaron Facer, Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and Denise at Dorby Books 63, I thought I'd better do it. This is the Shelf Respect tag. And it was originally created by Richard at History Lit. There are 10 questions plus a tag someone. So here we go. How do you organize your books on your bookshelves? Is question 1. And that is a really good question because I've been thinking mine need a whole lot of reorganization. Now, in the house, I have one big IKEA bookshelf that has books that I have read recently. And I say recently, when I moved, for complicated reasons, I had to get rid of a lot of my books. When I moved here, about 6 years ago, I had probably a couple of boxes. I brought with me about 100 books. Since then, I have been buying back all the books that I loved and had to get rid of, and have also been buying lots of new ones. So the big bookshelf that has my red books on there are books that I've read since I've been living here. I also have another one of those bookshelves with unread fiction on there. And then I've got 1, 2 slightly smaller bookshelves that have got unread fiction, plus they've got 2 leather-bound sets that I've got. One is the complete works of Charles Dickens, and one is, there's about 20 classic novels. And then we come to the book shack. So this is essentially a shed in the garden that I have turned into a book shack. And in here, I'm going to turn you around. So at the far end of the room, here, all of these are unread fiction. The last 3 shelves on that skinny little bookcase are unread children's fiction. Then we come to this end of the room, and this end of the room from, oh, I can't do this. Why can't I do this? From the end, the skinny bookcase at the end, to this one here. So 2 big bookcases and a small one. That is all non-fiction. And there is some semblance of order there. I've got, in the top of the little one, I've got memoirs and biographies. Then I've got, I think, myths and legends. Then I've got geography. Then I've got politics and economics. Then I've got nature writing. Then we come over to the next shelf where the first 3 shelves are travel writing. That shelf there starts the history section. So that's the last 2 shelves there, and these 3 shelves there. I've got some art and photography books here, and then that stack and the shelf at the bottom is unread fiction. Then behind me, these 2 shelves are all classics, and the bottom shelf of this one is unread fiction. So there's sort of an order. It's not a very good one. I don't think anyone else would be able to find anything. The non-fiction and the classics here include both read and unread books. Question 2. Have you ever merged your collection with your significant other? Oh no, not in a million years. These books are mine. Yeah. Phil does read quite a lot, actually. He reads at night, mainly, and he reads in bed. He reads without his glasses on because he's in bed, and he holds the phone like that distance away from him because he can't see if he has it any closer, which is all very well, but there are many occasions where he falls asleep doing this. And when he falls asleep, he goes like this. Guess what's below that phone? Me. He drops it on my head. Just saying. Do you write your name and the price paid in your books? I've never written the price paid in my books. In fact, I do everything to remove the price I've paid for my books. It's a bit like, what, this old thing? I've had it for ages type ruse. Doesn't work, but you can but try. I used to write my name in my books when I was a kid. I was possessive enough to want to mark them as mine. I don't do it anymore. Number 4, do you keep all the books you've read or only the most cherished? Well, when I first moved here, I only kept the most cherished. Now, I don't keep all of the books that I read. I spend some time deciding those. So they stay on the bookshelves for a little while after I've read them. And the criteria are whether or not I'm going to read it again, or I think I would want to read it again, and whether or not it's part of a collection. And by collection, my classics, even though they're mishmashed publications, they're a collection. I don't get rid of any classic books. I don't tend to get rid of non-fiction unless I thought it was utter tripe, and then I will. But general fiction, it either has to be an author I'm collecting or a series I'm collecting, or it has to be, I would definitely read this again. Other than that, I don't have space to keep everything. Number 5. Does the style or quality of your bookcases matter? No, not really. Its purpose is for holding books. I put apple crates up there if that was all I could get hold of. Doesn't bother me in the least. No, I don't think I have any issues with that at all. I mean, the ones in here match. They wouldn't have to. Wouldn't bother me if they didn't match. I just happened to find a reasonably priced bookshelf that fitted in with the heights of the ceiling, because, like I say, this is essentially a garden shed. In the house, they're white. Now, that was a mistake. White is a mistake. Do you know how much white shows up dust? Do you know how many times I have to dust those bookshelves? I hate housework. But no, other than that, it doesn't bother me. Number 6. Do you have any gripes or complaints about bookcase construction? Not really. I successfully managed to put all these together without an issue. There weren't any pieces missing. There were screws and things left over, but that's fine. The only time I've ever had an issue, it wasn't with the construction, it was with the workmanship of putting them up. And when my daughter was very small, and I was pregnant with my second daughter. So my eldest would have been about 2. And we made this big deal of doing up her bedroom, a new bedroom for her. So she didn't feel that when the baby was born, she was being pushed out of her room. And we settled her into her new room. She went to sleep. As was my habit, I stuck my head round the door to check she was okay before I went to bed. And all of a sudden, all I could see was this tiny child in a bed, sleeping. And above her, there were 3 bookshelves, absolutely laden with books that I had put up. And I stood there for about a minute looking at it, thinking, no, I can't sleep. I can't sleep with the idea that all of those books could fall off the wall and on her head. So in the middle of the night, while she was in bed and still asleep, I rearranged all the furniture so she wasn't sleeping precariously under a big pile of bookshelves, a big pile of books on bookshelves that I had screwed into the wall. Those shelves never did fall down, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Do you ever stack books horizontally? Is question number 7. Let's turn you around again. As you can see, I quite clearly do. And I do because of space issues. Other than the books I've just rested on the top here, I don't tend to do it with this section. I don't tend to do it with that section. And I don't tend to do it with the books that I've read on the big bookshelf in the house. But I do it with unread books. There's piles of them everywhere. Right. What are your favourite 5 dust jackets? Now, these are only ones that I could think of off the top of my head today. And when I hooked them out, I had an idea about what all of them should be. And then when I hooked them out, they're all the same. You'll see what I mean. So this is Robert McFarlane Landmarks. I love this lino print style. I like the monotone. The typeface doesn't offend me, as quite often they do. I just really like that. I think it's clean, but there's something to look at, and I like it very much. Now, second up is a book of John Betjeman poems, selected by Hugo Williams. It's the next step on from this, isn't it? So it's more detailed, but you've still got the monotone and the print-like element of the design. There's a nice church there and a railway. I just find lots to look at. That there's a couple of people playing tennis down there. I just really like that cover. Then we come to the third one. Steeplechasing by Peter Ross. It's not a great jump from this one. So we've got the church, we've got the railway, the fences behind it. It's more elements of nature in there. And although we are now in colour, we're not bombarding you with too many colours. They're all quite nicely muted and tied in with each other. Book number 4 that I picked out was this. This is J.L. Carr's A Month in the Country. Look, how similar are these? I've obviously got a thing about churches. I love the painting style of this cover. I love the colours. The palette is just beautiful, and I think it's a lovely cover. Finally, this is one that I read last week, the week before, and that is Dreamers by Volker Weidemann. And again, not dissimilar. This one, again, I love the style of the painting, but also I love that combination of colours. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I've obviously got a bit of a style that I like, and those are it. Question number 9. What are my 5 most disliked covers and why? I, again, have just, these aren't probably aren't my absolutely most hated ones, but these are the ones I thought of that were easily accessible, basically. These two. This, I love Alan Bennett, I love The Lady in the Van, I love Maggie Smith. I don't like movie tie-ins, I don't like pictures, covers with random photographs of people. I mean, I don't like that at all. No, not for me. Actually, I started this book ages ago and DNF'd it. I don't think that entire book is for me. This book I thought was brilliant. Then we have this, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it because of the light. This is a book called Demos Rising, which I bought because a friend of mine has a featured piece in here. Now, if you get up really close, can you see the neon bits around? I mean, again, we've got a photograph of someone, which I don't really like, but then we've neoned it up, and I don't like that at all. This is just because I really don't like spiders. There is absolutely no need for this. Classic Tales of Horror, Volume 2. It features a load of ghost stories, and it's got a big spider on the front. Unnecessary for all those arachnophobes, all us arachnophobes. And this final one, this is one of my favourite authors, but the cover does everything I hate, really. There's a pretty insipid photograph on the front to start with. Up here, we have something that is pretending to be a sticker, but quite clearly isn't because you can't peel it off. And then look at that text. I really don't like heavy outlines around text like that. Really don't like it. So much as I adore Ishmael Kadari as a writer, whoever did this, bad and wrong. Right. Is there any such thing as too many books? Well, of course there isn't. No, there's never such thing as too many books. What there is such a thing as is too little space. That's completely different. It's not the book's fault. I don't believe you can have too many books. I don't believe that too many books are produced. I don't believe that someone can own too many books. If I had more space, there would be more books. I would find a way of filling up most spaces with books. So no, there is no such thing as too many books. Now, tag some people. So, I'm going to tag people whose bookcases I sit and admire whilst I am watching their videos. So first up is Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. I am very envious of the amount of space he has and how organised his bookcases look. They always look so organised. I am also going to tag Crystal at Fiber Artsy. I would have tagged Aaron at Aaron Facer, but he tagged me, and he's explained now the organisation of his bookshelves, which was fab. And thirdly, I'm going to tag John David because I want to know what he does with how he organises his books. So that's my 3. Thank you very much for watching. There are more tag videos to come. Actually, shall I show you, or am I too embarrassed? I've started a notebook. Look, these are book tags, so I can keep an eye on them. Okay, that's the list of ones I haven't done yet. It goes over onto a second page. I'm sorry. I am going to catch up. So that's it. I shall be back very soon with another video, possibly a tag video, probably a tag video. Thank you very much for popping by. I'm very grateful, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.